What's going on, guys? I'm back here in the shop and I'm preparing for my first trip of 2026 here in Indiana. I'm going to a lake that I've never been before. It's called Brush Creek Reservoir. And from the folks that I've talked to and the research that I've done, it's a pretty muddy lake. And I can only imagine now, I'm going to assume that it's probably chocolate milk. And what I mean by chocolate milk is generally the visibility is like 6 inches or less. My creek here in the backyard is extremely high right now with all this rain that we've had, and I know it's creek fed. It's a creek fed reservoir, so I'm expecting pretty muddy conditions. But wanted to take a few minutes here and go through the arsenal that I'm going to be taking with me. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So first and foremost, I am going to be taking a red, this is a Strike King red crawl pattern square bill. This is the hard knocker, so I've got a little bit of sound there. One thing you'll notice immediately is I like throwing a red treble hook on the front of that crankbait. Something that I've had a lot of success with over the years is those fish tend to come up and hit the front treble when you have that red treble hook on there, especially in the spring. I don't put it on all of my square bills, but I definitely put it on those that I throw during the springtime. And I'm throwing this on a 7-foot Shimano Zodius rod. It's got a good amount of parabolic bend, so it allows that fish to really get a hold of that bait before I set the hook. And it's on a 6:3 to 1 ratio reel. This is a Daiwa reel. Actually, I have two that are identical setups. The other one that I have, I don't have that in here with me, but right now I have a chartreuse with a black back Fritz side on that, and that is a silent square bill. So I like doing generally one that's got some sound, one that doesn't, or sometimes I'll put different depths on the different rods. So the next one is a 7'6" Denali Covert rod with a Shimano SLX 7:2 to 1 ratio reel. This is a great setup. This is definitely a confidence setup for me. All of my swim jigs get thrown on this reel, or this rod and reel setup. This one here particularly, so I will be throwing a black and blue swim jig there. And I believe this is a Strike King 1/2 ounce swim jig. You can get these pretty much anywhere. But I've always got the swim jig with me. Again, it's a confidence thing. When you're in dirty water, the black and blues generally stand out. It's more of a silhouetting thing and feel thing for those fish. So next, I have a 7'3" Dobyns Fury series here. Absolutely love this rod and reel setup for my vibrating jigs. I'm throwing this on a Daiwa Tatua. This is a 7:1 to 1 ratio reel. This particular vibrating jig is actually not one that I've thrown in the past. This is a 3/8 ounce Berkley slobber knocker. Most of my vibrating jigs are the jackhammers, and yes, $20 a piece, and I have a full box of them, so I might have a problem. But I really like them. They catch fish. They're the reason they're the best of the best. But I went ahead and picked this one up. I really like the colors. I mean, you see the black, blue, purple in that. Also, the painted blade on this, it's got some purple flake, which I don't know if you guys will be able to tell that, but absolutely a beautiful looking vibrating jig. So we're going to give it a shot tomorrow and see how it does. So next, we have, let's see, the St. Croix 7 foot. This is an Avid Series rod. I absolutely love this rod and reel setup. I'm throwing it on a Shimano Corrado 7:4 to 1 ratio reel. And I really like these with the full cork. I love the feeling of cork. So this is just a phenomenal setup. I've caught a ton of fish on this rod and reel setup, and it doesn't really stay at the ramp. It's always in the kayak with me. I'm going to be throwing this, this is a Honey's Hideout 1/2 ounce black and blue jig. These guys do a phenomenal job on making their jigs. I'm pretty particular when it comes to my jigs. Bit bougie, I guess, is what you would consider. And I do a few modifications to these. So all these are hand-tied jigs, which I absolutely love. I don't like throwing the rubber bands, or the jigs with the rubber bands, the cheaper ones, if you will, or the mass-produced ones. Not necessarily cheaper, but mass-produced. They've got the rubber bands. They tend to fail over time, and I really like the hand-tied jigs. But the modifications that I do, you'll see, I like to trim my skirt, and I like to trim my skirt to come to the bottom of that hook bend. It gives it more of a finessey profile, but also I get that real nice flare out of the skirt material under the water, which is really what you're looking for. All right, so those are two things, and then I can change the bulkiness of the jig based off the trailer that I put on there. Tomorrow, more than likely, I really like throwing the Reaction Innovation beaver style trailers on this particular jig, so that's probably more than likely what I'll be running. The next modification that I do is I like trimming my weed guard a little bit, and if you notice, I trim it at an angle. So that the tip of that weed guard is just touching the tip of that hook. I've had great success trimming them down like this. I don't get hung up on wood and things like that. I keep that gap in between the hook point and the weed guard at a minimum to prevent those hang-ups and stuff like that. And also, it's a little bit more sturdy, so when that fish goes ahead and bites that, I mean, they're going to have plenty of force to drop that weed guard, and you can put a good hook set on it. So just a couple of modifications that I like to do on my jigs, and pretty much all of my jigs are modified pretty much the same way. So, and then last but not least, I'll have a Texas rig set up here. From my understanding, there's a lot of wood cover and stuff like that. So I want to also have a slender profile, but a bulkier plastic put on this. And then, of course, Texposing it so it keeps it weedless, keeps it from hanging up, stuff like that. I have this on a 7 foot. This is actually a Gerby stick. So this is with the club that I fish with. They had rods made. This is meant for jigs. I mean, it's a 7 foot medium heavy. So it's a pretty common rod that you would find pretty much anywhere. So I'm throwing this with a Daiwa. This is the Fuego series reel. It's a 7:1 to 1. So we'll see how that does tomorrow. So guys, I will be taking my camera equipment with me tomorrow. So I'm trying to do a little bit better about taking video, getting those edited down, and then being able to share that experience with you guys. So make sure that you stay tuned to my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. I'll be posting all this stuff on there. And if you guys have any questions, comments, put them down in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. and talk through some of this. If you have questions, obviously, feel free to shoot me a DM and let's have that conversation. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up, and we'll see you out on the water tomorrow.